You are listening to Wealthy Muslim Woman Podcast, episode number 3, with Saima Ali, MD. Welcome to Podcast for Wealthy Muslim Women, where it's all about building and maintaining wealth. If you want to conquer your worries around money, learn the secrets to create more money, and most importantly, to grow and maintain it, then you are at the right place. Hello everyone, welcome to week 3. I can't believe it. We're running. This is amazing. I'm so excited to be sharing all this with you. So today we are going to be talking about budget. I did a small video on it a little while ago, and we'll kind of go back to that a little bit and correlate it with today's episode. But basically, budget is very important. It's the basics of all personal finance. We want to know where our money is and where it's going. And I know you probably tried doing budgets before and it did not work out the way you would have hoped. Things were adding up and in places that you didn't expect, and it just gets overwhelming. And then you end up, you give up and, you never go back to it. But today we are going to be looking at budget from a very different point of view. And this will want us to do our budget and look at our money. We want to see where our money is before we can plan or do anything with it. If you're thinking, if your house is a mess and you're going to keep the lights off and you think it's just going to get better or clean itself, it doesn't happen that way. So when you turn on the lights, the mess is still going to be there. So the first point is really becoming aware of our money and aware of our budget and aware of where our money is going. So I want you to start thinking about budget from a point of abundance, not from a point of scarcity. Scarcity is when we think there's not much out there and we think in negative terms. So we cannot buy this, we cannot afford that because we don't have this much money. But I want you to start thinking about it from a point of abundance. What do you want your money to do for you? What are the things that you want to plan for your future and how you can get there? Feeling good. It's a lot of it. The correlation in behavior correlates with a lot of other things that are happening in our lives. So money, budget, wealth is a lot of emotional work. 80% of it is behavioral and 20% is actual knowledge that's in our head, which is kind of similar to the way we eat, our relationship with food. It correlates a lot with that. So I don't want you to be going out to the mall and then spending hundreds of dollars and then getting that dopamine hit at the moment and feeling happy and excited, and then afterwards just feeling depressed about it, that why did you spend all this money. I want you to plan that money. I want you to plan spending that money and feel happy about it. One way of looking, when we start getting awareness of our money, is one way of looking at it is look at the things that you have right now. Would you buy the things that you have right now again? Would you pay the same amount of money for the couch that you got, or for the expensive bag you have, or for the expensive shoes you have? Would you pay the money to have them again? That's one point of one perspective of looking at it. And if you're not, one way to get some extra cash would be to sell those things. You can put it on eBay, you can sell it other ways and get some extra cash back. But if you would want those things, if those things are truly what bring joy to your life, then how can you get it without feeling guilty? In the book, You Need a Budget, the author talks about where the guilt for buying things comes from. He said it's usually two things that make us feel bad about our purchases. It's either coming from the knowledge in your gut that you know there's a higher priority that needs your attention. So you know your retirement account is not filling up, or you know that you want to buy a house and you haven't even started planning for that. That's what's gonna make you feel bad. Or you are letting other people's expectations of what you should have or what you shouldn't have affect you. So we shouldn't let other people's expectations of how we should live our lives affect us in a way where it's making us feel guilty or making us feel bad about our purchases. We should be able to do what we want to do with our money, and have it invested the way we want to. So I'm sure you've heard of the Latte Factor. If you just save $5-10 a day and put it in the market over the next 30-40 years, it can grow to over $1 million. And yeah, that's one way of looking at our life and how we can save. But what if that latte is what's bringing you joy in life? If you have 5 minutes in a day to get away from a busy work schedule and go sit with a friend and socialize and drink a latte, and that brings you calm and peace of mind, then that latte is worth it. We're gonna try to find out where we can cut back otherwise to find those $5 or to find those $10 that we could invest in, because I do believe that you only live once, and you should try to do things that make you happy and that bring you peace of mind and calmness in your life. Those are the things that truly are priceless, and those are the things that we work for at the end of the day. So I don't go from scarcity point of view. I don't go from what we cannot do, but what we actually want to do and how to get there. And there are many ways of getting there. So in the video I discussed how I like to do my budget. This was a method that I learned recently. It's been over 6 months now since I've started implementing it. I was doing other things before. I've been using Mint for years and years, over 10 years. I think I started using that when I was in residency. I don't even remember when I started using that, but that's a good way of tracking your progress as well. It's free, and I still have my account with them, and I'll log in here and there and see where everything is. But I like the every dollar idea or the method more. So I started using that. I did buy the Every Dollar app initially. I'm actually certified financial coach with Dave Ramsey. So I purchased their course to learn about finances, and you get a 1 year of Every Dollar app free with that. So I started using it initially, and it was just too confusing for me. Honestly, I didn't even understand the idea of $0 budget. Like the first month, I was having difficulty really putting it into action. I was like, why would I want to have $0? It was really funny actually now that I look back at it. But yeah, I didn't really understand what he meant, why your income minus expenses should be zero, and that the expenses should actually include saving for yourself and spending money in the areas that you want to spend it at. So it took me a little while to get used to this new budget formula. So if you're having difficulty with it, just try to stick with it for a little bit, at least 3 months. That's what everybody says, that it takes at least 3 months to try to get your budget right, to try to see. First month, you may just be going through the statements and seeing where you're spending the money. For me, the biggest category was Amazon. It's so easy to spend money these days. We don't have to go shopping. It's so hard to go shopping with little kids. And when you're on your phone, you have the Amazon app, or when you're on your computer, it's just like open all the time, and you see all these things that they recommend, and it's just so easy to order those things and just get it in the mail, and it's like exciting initially. So that was my biggest spending that I noticed, Amazon. So I tried to cut out Amazon Prime, which is another expense. But for me, I do buy a lot of things that I actually need from Amazon as well. I really hate going to the mall. I don't like standing in lines at the cashier. I feel like that's just such a waste of time. And then when we have the other option, why not use it? So I do order a lot of things, even from clothing, shoes, kid stuff, everything. The only thing that we actually going to store for right now is groceries, and I'm trying to see which store would even deliver to us. I know there's a lot of programs that do it, but I haven't really looked into them yet. I think the ShopRite close to us hasn't started doing it yet, but I'm waiting for that. For me, cutting out Amazon Prime was not really an option. I was still ordering things, and I didn't want to pay for shipping, so I kept that. And but I became more aware of what I'm buying. When I add things to my cart, I think about it twice. Do I really need this? And if there's another way of getting it. For example, I cut out Audible. I love listening to books and reading books. So I was using Audible for the longest time, and then I learned about Hoopla, which is an app, free app, and you can get free books to listen to or to read from your local library. So I've been using Hoopla, but my husband still has Audible. So now if there's a book that I cannot find on Hoopla, I'll just log into his account and get that book using his credit, because he doesn't end up always using what he has. So those were my two biggest things. Then I realized that my expenses, what my other true expenses were. Insurance, like that's one of the big things, with the car insurance, house insurance, and other things. We have disability insurance, life insurance. We'll talk about all these different insurances in a different episode, but that was one of my biggest expenses. And then the things that I look forward to budgeting, the things that I want to do, is a big category for me in terms of bringing joy, is self-care. So I really like planning those things, planning my manicure, pedicure, if I need a massage, having that money in a facial, anything like that. That's my big category. I don't buy a lot of clothes. I don't buy a lot of shoes. That's just not something that I get happy with. I just like having, normal, I guess you could call it normal clothes, and I'm more into the minimalism kind of lifestyle, having only things that bring you joy, and then I'm okay with donating things. I don't have a trouble saying goodbye to the things that I have that I've used, and then just giving them to other people that may have a bigger need for it. So clothing, shoes, those are not my big categories at all. And then but definitely saving is something that is important, and I try to plan that ahead of time. So trying to save for kids' schools, my own retirement plans, or other brokerage account for different type of investments. So those are the things that are also fun to plan and look forward to. And so basically with that budget, with every dollar budget, all the things that you have to do go on the left column for me, and then as the money is coming in, I look at it and I basically deduct it from where it's going to. So that really helps. And for me, the other thing that really helped was doing it every 2 weeks instead of doing it every month. So I get paid every 2 weeks. And another major thing that I had trouble was because my income is variable, I take extra call at hospitals, and then depending on how much call I'm doing, my income can vary from every 2 weeks to every month. So that's why I get paid on Fridays. So on Friday, I'll look at, this is how much I got in my bank account today, and then what I need to do with that today. So I'll plan it every 2 weeks, and it does not take long anymore. It literally not even half an hour, and I'm done. And it just gives you such a peace of mind for the next 2 weeks or for the whole time that you are working for your money, and then you are spending your money the way you want to. So you're getting your money to work for you. So it's really, really important. I really, really emphasize this. Please try to implement it. That's your homework. Try to look at different budget apps, see what you may like doing, what may work for you. I like the every dollar, but it may not be the best method for you. So how do you want to budget your money, and what will you use? Will you just be using Excel sheet or a book and a pen, or getting some app and trying to work through that? I don't have any trouble paying for things that are at the end gonna help you. So if you think that app like Every Dollar or YNAB app is gonna actually help you save money at the end of the year, then definitely go ahead and spend those couple of bucks. I'm honestly not sure how much they are, but they can't be that much. I think if at the end of the day they're gonna help you save a lot more than you're spending on it, then it's worth it. And if it's gonna make your life easier, then yes, go ahead and use one of the apps. But if you want to do it free, then that's also another option. So let us know what you're gonna do and how you're gonna count your money and keep account of it. Looking forward to hear that from you. Okay. Alrighty. Bye. Until next week.